This is a great day to be here. It feels like the beginning of spring, even though it's a little early. I'm welcoming that into my life and that feeling of a new beginning. And I would like to remind you at this point in time to turn off all your noisemakers. So anything that makes noise, and I'm sitting here thinking, gosh, did I silence my phone? But I'll get it in a minute. So apologies in advance if that goes off. But I'd also like to say, if you're joining online, welcome, and you can click the closed captioning if you need assistance. My name is Lisa Kerr. I'm a practitioner here at the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living, and my pronouns are she and her. I am so grateful for each one of you joining us today, whether online or in the beginning. Together, we are transforming the world with the power of love in action. And I want to take a moment to honor that we are gathering today on the land that was taken from the Tiwa people. I also want to take a moment to honor the many folks who are love in action today. Our musical inspiration is Susan Clark.
And Victor Padilla and John Talon.
Thank you. Our tech team is Hannah Dawson and Cheryl Ray. Our greeter is Doug Bowe. We also have a licensed spiritual practitioner serving us today, Christine Duval, and any other practitioners that are joining us in High Watch virtually. Appreciate that. I will be doing the opening celebration with prayer, and I will also anchor us in the vision and mission statements and share the reading for the day. Reverend Kamatara will offer our inspirational message for the day as well. Now it is time, before I forget, I'd just like to bring your attention to all the stuffed animals in the center. If you would just give them a lot of love and hug them up during service, it would be appreciated. And as a reminder, if you want to make an announcement on Sunday, please contact Brian Kurtz by 6 p.m. on Wednesday. With that, I would like to turn it over to Susan for our opening song.
Thank you. We're still getting used to the new outline. We have a new outline. And so. Plus, changing the time is just such a horrible trick they play on us this time of year. But anyway, if you please stand, and we're just going to pretend like we're awake and aware and excited and wow, woohoo! I love that time change. I love getting up earlier. And we're going to do some Eddie Watkins to start out with for you. This is called You and Me. All right? We ready? Intro, D minor, G, and C. Two. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me, one life shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out, I'm so happy, I just want to shout, hey! One life living as you and me, one light shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. Do that again. One life living as you and me, one light shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out, I'm so happy, I just want to shout, hey! One life living as you and me, one light shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is, 'cause God is all there is, 'cause God is all there is. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Susan. That was beautiful.
I feel better now.
And now it is time for our service to begin. It's time for our evocation.
Sorry.
So I would like to evoke the presence of God into this sacred space, into this sanctuary, and outwards towards all of Albuquerque, all of our community, our state, our country, as we go through this time that our country's going through with the election, and to everybody that is listening virtually online. And I know that each of us is surrounded and filled with that love from that one source that we call God. That love that God that is the source of all, that God that is the source of harmony and peace, joy, happiness, prosperity and abundance. That God that is the source of peace. And I know that there is no separation between me and this God. For we are one. The innermost God and the outermost God are one and the same. And I know that if this is true for me, it is true for every person in this sanctuary, every person listening online, every person in our broader and broader and broader community. Each of you is filled with love and happiness. Each of you is a source of love and happiness, prosperity and abundance, joy, and new beginnings. At this time, I would also like to give gratitude in advance for the words that will be spoken by Reverend Kamatara, knowing that in some way her words will touch each of us in a profound way that is unique to what we need, what we are listening for, what we need to get us through this upcoming week that provides us spiritual guidance. And I give thanks to the musicians and for everyone helping with this service. And with that, I anchor this into place by saying, and so it is.
Well, good morning, Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. And we'll get so grateful to see you all this morning. And our precious Reverend Gill is traveling right now, the birthday boy, and with his family. So very grateful that he is there. And actually, Hannah, are we able to pull him up? Because he was going to say just a word or two here. So we're going to bring Reverend Gill up to join us through the...
Hello, everybody. Hey, great to see you all. I am just taking one quick moment to recognize somebody very, very important and to say thank you. So, as you just saw, the miracle of technology, Hannah brought me into the room at Reverend Kamatara's request. And Hannah, this is her last week with us officially before she changes her life and moves away and all those things. And I just want everybody to give her a round of applause, to give her a hug, to let her know how much we appreciate her. Thank you, Hannah. We couldn't do it without you. We just couldn't. Thanks so much. All right, I'll let y'all get back to the service.
And I'll try not to cry because we all love Hannah very much. But it's also wonderful to see you, branch out and have your life and be awesome because you're an amazing person. So we really appreciate all that you've been to this community, and then also know that where you're going is divinely guided and blessed and magnificent. And we'll see you on Facebook. Make sure you post. Okay. Deep breath. Oh, it's hard. It's one of the beautiful things about being in community that we love each other so much. All right. Speaking of, in this particular community, Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living, we are anchored in the principles of science of mind, which is sometimes called New Thought or Ageless Wisdom. And it's wonderful sometimes to just kind of touch that home base and to remind ourselves. And you certainly could go to the website rgcsl.org and you could click on the What We Believe and you could see a whole bunch of fancy things there, and that's fine. But if I had to pick, some of the greatest hits, I would say that first off, we believe that there really is only one power in the universe, It may be known by many names. It doesn't matter what you call it. As they say in the Tao, the thing that can be named is not the thing. So whatever you call it doesn't matter, but there is that thing. There's that something sacred going on, that one power, and that is expressing as each one of us here. So that's wonderful that I am, you are expressions of that one loving source. Wow, we are doing new things here. So I've got my technology and it wants to go to sleep. All right. And I know I'm tired too because it's so early. All right. We also believe in the spiritual community that thoughts are creative, that I create by the story I'm telling in my head. And so wouldn't it be wonderful to be aware, like, oh, what am I saying now? And how might that be guiding my experience? And just to be more aware of that, because sometimes I can do that very skillfully, and sometimes, ooh, not so much. And that's really, again, the bounty of being in community together. We can help each other to remember who we are, even when we don't, or when we faceplant, we can help each other get back up and keep going. I think it was Wayne Dyer who said, you can measure my spiritual growth in body lengths, one face plant at a time. So something like that, yes. So another thing that we really believe, and this is in alignment with A Course in Miracles, is that everything that we're experiencing is either love or a call for love. And that really helps me to have a lot of compassion in moments when I think, wow, what is this dumpster fire in front of me now? Oh, that's a call for love. Do I have the courage to show up as love in this moment? Or I might be the dumpster fire of the moment that really needs to be loved up. And that's okay, too. So that's a wonderful way to be moving through life. And another wonderful thing that we believe is that each of us is whole, perfect, and complete, exactly right now. There's no rescuing, saving, fixing. There's nothing that's got to be different. You just are. You are an expression of the one loving source. How could you be anything less? So we really appreciate these core tenets, and we're so grateful that you've chosen to be a part of today's celebration, whether you're here in the room or you're online. Thank you very much. Glad that you're here. In fact, this is a great time to honor. Is there anyone who's visiting for the first time? Any first or second timers? Welcome. Very grateful you're here. The rest of y'all need to bring some friends. All right. Talk to your friends. Bring them. This is a great place to be. And we're going to do our blessing for new folks, but also know this is also for you as well, because you are a new creation today. So here's a lovely blessing if you want to join me. And some people like to rub their hands or spread that energy. Just know the arms of the divine are around you right now. So here's our special little blessing. We see you. We know who you really are. You are a unique emanation of spirit. We love you. We appreciate you. We thank God for you. Welcome home. All right. Yay. So now it's time for our mission, our vision, and a sacred reading.
Thank you, Reverend Kamatara. I appreciate your great energy as always. So please join me in reading our vision and mission statements. Our vision, transforming our world with the power of love and action. Our mission statement, loving all creation through spiritual growth and service, always staying true to our highest self. And so in picking today's reading, I pulled up a resource that I really enjoy, and this is the 365 Days of Science of Mind. And there's a different reading on each day, but the particular reading that I chose is from October 14th, which, whatever, but it fit with the theme for today, which is releasing old ways and making a choice. And so I'll just go with that. I rejoice that my spirit is free. I now allow the living presence of spirit to flow through me in expanding circles of activity. Every past sense of limitation melts away, and every good I have experienced is increased. Every joy that has come into my life is multiplied, and there is a new influx of inspiration into my thought. I see more clearly than ever that my divine birthright is freedom, joy, and good. Spirit is not limited, so neither am I. I let go of all restricting ideas, knowing that life gives according to my faith. I lift my thought and elevate my faith. I accept the divine presence as now bountifully expressing peace and harmony in my life. Spirit will never fail me if I never fail to believe in its goodness and its responsiveness. Life becomes one grand song as I realize that since God is for me and within me, none can be against me. I will cease merely to exist. I will live. In the awareness that God indwells my life, I know that my spirit is released from all lack and limitation. I understand and accept the truth about myself. My physical body and my objective affairs reflect the perfection that I feel, the wholeness of which I am certain, and the glorious freedom that rightfully belong to me. I rejoice that my spirit is forever free. Thank you. And now it's time for some special music.
Thank you, Lisa. It's a new song for me and for the band. So nice to say that. Victor, don't tell them that it's new. Called A Long Way Up, and I hope I don't forget and say a long way down, but it's a long way up. Okay. I'm going to start by myself. Here in the great unraveling, so much of this is baffling. When breathing feels like gambling, nowhere to go but here. Things come together then fall apart. We gather up our broken hearts, and endings are just a place to start. And so we start again. I'm gonna climb this ladder rung by rung. I'm gonna count my blessings one by one. It's gonna take a little grace and luck, 'cause baby, it's a long way up. Baby, it's a long way up. When the days are short and the stars align, we live in time outside of time, slow dancing as the new moon shines, with you humming in my ear. We're gonna climb this ladder rung by rung. We're gonna count our blessings one by one. It's gonna take a little grace and luck, 'cause baby, it's a long way up. Baby, it's a long way up. Last night my dog sat barking at the world. Yesterday I heard the wild cranes pass. Morning came creeping in at dawn, mud sat up and looked around and wondered at the world it found, till eventually the mud lay back down, smiled and said amen. We're gonna climb this ladder rung by rung, we're gonna count our blessings one by one. It's gonna take a little grace and luck, 'cause baby it's a long way up, baby it's a long way up. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Susan, Victor, and John. That was wonderful. Oh my goodness. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Reverend Kamatara. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm so excited to be with you again this week. Were any of you here last week? Woo, right? You're like, yes. It was amazing. It was a very powerful kickoff to March. Reverend Dr. David Alexander was in town. This is his hometown, and he was in from Atlanta, and he spoke, and it was very, very powerful. So if you weren't here, make sure you go onto YouTube, watch it again, watch it, have the experience, and the music was amazing, as always. So it's worth the whole experience of it, and even if you were here, go back and watch it again, because you might want to take notes. It was super powerful and fabulous. And I had to laugh because last week Susan played a song that was literally called Up Until Now. And then this week, good soldier, I unpacked the little talk notes from the mothership. We use the global themes that these Centers for Spiritual Living use each month. It goes with the Science of Mind magazine, which I'm told by Gil is in now. Hooray! So visit the bookstore if you need one. But the talk title for this week was literally Up Until Now. And I went, but of course it is. And I had to laugh because last week you said, someone used to say that to me. I knew exactly who it was. How many of you have had the fabulous experience of knowing our founding minister, Reverend Martha Quintana? And how many of you have had the equally fabulous experience of her saying that phrase to you, up until now? Oh, yes. I think just about every week in practitioner training, I would, toss up a little chestnut and she'd, tap, like when you're learning how to drive the car and you have the driving instructor in the seat and they're like hitting the brake like on their side. That was Reverend Martha with me. She'd be like, I would say something crazy and she'd be like, up until now. Like, oh, that's right. I would say things like, well, I've been a passive-aggressive type A control freak, and she would hit the pause button up until now. Oh, I see what I just did there. Or just any phrase you could imagine. I've always hated, or I've never understood, or I just can't seem to, or I struggle with, or I much prefer. Hold on. Up until now. So what that phrase means is like, yes, I understand this has happened in the past, true story, and I can make a different choice. And as Ernest Holmes used to say, spirit is not bound by precedent. So the not so fancy way to say that is that just because it happened in the past doesn't mean it has to happen now. So that means I can make a different choice. I can have a different experience. I am an unprecedented being. This combination of genetics and family members and experiences and skills and choices have never been here before. With you fine people here this fabulous morning, exactly the way it is right now, this is unprecedented. And it's interesting to consider that there is infinite variety in the infinite. How's that for a circular argument? All right, the English teacher in me is freaking out a little bit about that. All right, but the bottom line is we are not bound to what went before. So it's really important to pause, Like I used to say with my students, pause for dramatic effect. Oh, come on, you guys, it's funny. All right. Wait, it's too early. Yeah, pause for dramatic effect. Yeah. If you have like an animal with paws, okay. It's really early, so I translated the joke. Okay. Yeah, the daylight savings time. I'm trying. Okay. So yes, it's important to pause in the crossroads to really take a look around and see what's going on and not just barrel through. Is it possible to pause, look around, and make a different choice? It's that whole, doctor, it hurts when I do that. What's the answer? Then don't do that. Although how many times do we honestly really stop that thing that's maybe not so good? And this is the essence of change your thinking, change your life. Truly. It's not just woo-woo out there. Like this is real. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is how we do it. But here's the good news. I bet that you have already made quite a few changes in your life already. Probably safe in saying that. In fact, let's play a little game. It's going to be like a mini meditation game. Okay, so go ahead and just get yourself comfortable. How you like to just turn inward. And if you like to cast your eyes down or close your eyes, that's fine, whatever you feel comfortable doing. We're going to turn inward. And I want you to imagine that you have a fabulous photo album of yourself. And you're going to open the cover, and the very first photo that I want you to imagine is the quintessential picture of you when you were 15 years old. Oh, reserve judgment. Okay, and what I want you to do is picture your 15-year-old self and just love that precious 15-year-old and all their messy goodness. Just love that 15-year-old for a moment. And now, I want you to contemplate what were some of the more cringe-worthy things you did or old ways of being that you have since released that 15-year-old self may have done or said. Just sit with it for a moment with all due love and respect. And just take a sec to honor what you let go of there. Like, thank you for your service. You may go now. That was formative. All right. Now we're going to flip the photo album, and I want you to picture the quintessential picture of you when you were 25. And love that 25-year-old self of you. And now think, what were some of the more cringe-worthy things you did or old ways of being when you were 25? Whew. And take a moment to honor that was released. Thank you for your service. You may go now. That was a formative time. And let's flip the photo album another page and picture yourself at 35. Where were you at? What were you doing? 35 years old. And love your 35-year-old self. And what were some of the more cringe-worthy things you did and old ways of being that you have since released that were with your 35-year-old self? And thank you for your service. can go now. And flip the photo album to 45. I'm pretty sure we're still safe in this room. 45. And love that 45-year-old self. Where were you? What were you doing? What's that picture of you? Love that 45-year-old self. And take a moment to remember what you released at that age, what was cringe-worthy and old ways of being, and just, ooh, done. And thank you for your service, 45-year-old self. Whew. And to continue on, take a moment. How many more decades do you have to go? Is there a 55? 65? 75? 85? If you've reached it, you could always love yourself forward for a moment and just imagine, like even at 85, what might you still need to release? And that's okay. What no longer serves your best and highest good. And take a moment to stand in the circle in your mind, circle up, and hold hands with all the ages of you, and look around that circle from age 15 to now. All the different yous. And look in the middle of the circle. There it is, laying all that you have shed over the years, the decades. It's lying in the center like a pile of old snake skins. And take a moment to honor all those versions of you. And pause just to celebrate for a moment all the stuff that you have released in the past, and look how far you've come. Success. Amazing. Beautiful. You're doing it. Look around that circle one last time and thank each age of you for how formative that was for you and who you are right now. And hold it gently, because we're still at the crossroads of an up until now moment, and another skin may be shed, and that's okay. So take a moment to breathe again and hold on to the feelings of this, your beautiful past selves and this bounty and all that you've brought with you to this moment right now that is the perfect expression of you. Look how far you've come. And take a moment to bring yourself back to your body and come on back into the room. Open your eyes when you're ready. Thank you so much for playing along and just walking through that. Maybe some interesting things came forth. You might want to sit with it later and journal about it, or whatever you might need to do to process a bit. But here's the concept. If I am functioning from my place of most potential, then it's okay to say this no longer serves my best and highest good. Or even to ask the question, does this thing still serve my best and highest good? No. A favorite phrase in business I just learned is called purposeful abandonment. Ooh, I could choose to not do that. I could choose to say no. I could make a different choice. But I also don't want to just be dismissive or make a snap decision or whatever. No. I need to think and then honor it and then release it. Thank you for your service. Bring it to an end on purpose, so that way I'm not living in a museum of the past. I'm not looping an autopilot. I am evolving consciously. There is so much power in that. So the next thing for us to consider is, well, what if I want to make a conscious change right now? At whatever age, whatever beautiful, glorious age you are at right now, if you want to make a change like this week, what do you do? So I've been reading a book. I'm a little late to the party. It's the 4 Pivots by Dr. Sean Ginwright, Reimagining Justice, Reimagining Ourselves. And I know CSL did a big book study on it, and I did not have the bandwidth for it at the time. He was the closing keynote at the CSL conference. Absolutely amazing if you get a chance to watch that video. And this book is just amazing. It's about 4 pivots. And first, the important thing that he does is he explains the concept of a pivot. So when you imagine a pivot, does anything come to mind? Yeah, I'm changing direction. And it could be, there's certain things that can pivot and shift, but what really comes to mind for me is basketball, because that's used a big deal if any of you have played basketball. And some of you know I'm not exactly a sports person, but I did actually play basketball in middle school, which is really funny if you know me, because I'm a non-competitive pacifist who's a people pleaser with performance anxiety. So up until now. So picturing me in team sports, like, it was highly humorous. It was maybe not so funny at the time. But we had to learn how to pivot. When you play sports, you have to be able to move your body. And then when I was reading in this book, he explained the 4 aspects of a pivot. And I was like, really? Wow. This is like the best explanation of pivot I've ever heard. Okay, so here we go. Dr. Ginwright says, in basketball, a pivot requires 4 interwoven and seamless traits. When the player has the ball, they pivot in order to advance the ball down the court. This pivot requires that, number 1, they stop momentarily and reflect on what is happening. 2, they have awareness of the relationship of the other players who are around them. 3, they maintain focus on the goal without distraction. And 4, they calmly and confidently flow into another direction. You don't see all of this, of course, because it all happens in an instant, which does not describe my basketball experience at all. But the concept is amazing. And as you know, we here are metaphysicians, or some people prefer the term practical mystics, like how do we take these concepts and then actually apply them in our lives? That's what I love about what we do here. We may want to try that pivot, but in slow motion. So we're getting like the frame advance. Did you ever pause and then like frame advance on a video? If you have kids, I know you've done that. The old VCRs and the frame advance to see the cartoon moving. Yeah, we're going to do that right now. We're going to do another little mini thought experiment. And you don't have to close your eyes or any of that, but just think. In your life right now, is there one arena where you would love to have a different experience? Just pick one. It could be maybe a different experience with yourself, or it could be a different experience with another person, or like, oh yeah, I've got this thing on my calendar this week, and I don't want to have that experience, I want this. Okay, where might you make a little pivot? Just pick one area. And let's see if we can think through the 4 steps of a pivot. Okay, so we're going to pretend. All right, so first off, the first step is to just stop and reflect on what's happening. So in the arena where you want to experience something different, what are you experiencing now? What's really going on? Can you reflect a bit just for a moment? What is going on in that situation or with you or with that person? And whatever's coming to mind first is probably, top of mind. So that's good. We can work with that. All right, so here's the second part of the pivot. Do you have awareness of the others involved? Like, what is your relationship to them? How are you relating to each other? If it's with other people. If it's with yourself, how are you relating to yourself? What is your position with yourself? An interesting side question is anyone missing who should be involved in this and isn't? Like if I'm working with myself, maybe I need my practitioner. Or, oh, I'm struggling with this particular scenario. Oh, because this person isn't at the table and they should be. Is there anyone who's missing or would be helpful? All right, third step. What would it look like if you focused on your goal without distraction? Your goal being the new experience you would like to have. If you were to focus on that thing that different experience you'd like to have, focus without distraction, what would it look like? Just imagine. And perhaps a little deeper question, what would it feel like if you were really focused on that goal? All right, in the fourth part of the pivot, can you imagine yourself now in this situation with yourself, with someone else, or whatever it is? Imagine yourself calmly and confidently flowing in that new direction that you are choosing. Calmly and confidently. Whew, and there it is. That's the pivot. You just played it out. You just mapped it out for yourself. Wouldn't that be an interesting thing to try this week? You never know what might happen. And I love this kind of mindful change, or what we would call conscious evolution. Again, not a snap pivot or, oh, I'm just spaghetti tossing and just seeing anything, or like panicking, which I know I have done in many situations, or it doesn't dismiss the past or pretend it hasn't happened. It incorporates and keeps going, or as they say in spiral dynamics, it transcends and includes. It's the both and, like, yes, this past experience is informing me now to make this different choice. So I'm honoring and releasing the past so I can clear the way for the future, and that's how I live into the bigness of my truth. That was our affirmation last week, and I was thinking about the difference between the word in and into, and how just the two little letters, that little preposition, totally changes the meaning of that sentence. So think about, I live in the bigness of my truth, versus I live into the bigness of my truth. Of course I live in the bigness of my truth. I always live in the truth. The truth is like gravity. It's there whether I think about it or not, especially when I fall down the stairs in Puerto Vallarta. Ooh, that hurt. But if I don't know is that I'm always living my truth. So how do I grow into that? How do I become the living embodiment of truth? Well, I live into it. I live into the bigness of my truth. It's the concept of becoming. So can I be aware of who I am becoming? That's the essence of the pivot. Can I be aware of who I am becoming? Can I be mindful enough to see myself? Can I be brave enough to look? And can I have the courage to say, well, up until now, and then make a different choice? And that's where we take the moment to reflect back. Where have I been? What have I done? What have I learned? How have I grown? What should I release now? It's those patterns that no longer serve your best and highest good. But I do need to give you a little warning before we close here. A little danger warning, Will Robinson. I do have to caution you that when you do this work and you make a change and you level up or you shift or you pivot, that the folks around you will definitely have an opinion. I'm just saying. They will either be attracted to you, like, wow, I love this. This is great. More of that, please. Or, and is more oftentimes the case, they may be repelled. They may redouble their efforts to bait you back into the old ways, which I know from unplugging from codependency. That sometimes the efforts are redoubled and histrionic and all the things, and like, whoa, don't take the bait card, don't do it. Don't do it. Sometimes it happens, like we impact each other, especially when we're changing and growing and pivoting. So other folks may resent you for your growth or accuse you of thinking you're all of that in a bag of chips, like who do you think you are? Or folks may be intimidated by your newfound sense of self. Or they might be jealous. I don't know. There's like an infinite number of reactions. So it's just important to be aware that could happen and to hold fast, calmly and confidently, laser focused on your new choice that you have made, your expanded way of being, because you are here. Literally, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to live into the bigness of your truth. And this is how we do it. So this week, I hope you will take a moment to pause for dramatic effect and say, and to really say, up until now, and then make the conscious pivot, head calmly and confidently to your new you. You've got this, and the divine has you. Happy pivot. So it is our prayer time. I'm going to ask our practitioners and ministers to surround the room and just know that this is a physical expression of how the arms of the divine are always wrapped around you all the time. And so in this moment, in this place, I recognize the presence of the one loving source, of the all that is, this thing that I choose to call God. And I know that this is expressing as me, as you, as we in the here and now. And so I am aligned with the divine that is the presence and power within. I have access to all the infinite choices and qualities and experiences that could possibly happen. I know that I am not bound by precedent. I am not bound by the past, that I am created anew every single day, and that I can say up until now, and I can make a different choice, and I can have a different experience, and I can do that consciously. I know that I am divinely guided and blessed as I live into the bigness of my truth. And I know that what each one of us pictured during our different ages and all the things that we released in the past, regardless of how easy or difficult those experiences may have been, I know that they were formative. And I am grateful because it's who you are in this exact moment that is such a gift to all the world. And I also claim for each person that the pivot they imagined right during this service, that pivot happens with grace and ease and discernment, and that different experience is informative and helpful and good, that each person is functioning from their place of most potential, reaching their best and highest good in this moment and the next and the next. And that whatever courage it takes to make that change and watch what happens and interact with people in a new way, it happens, it's there. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this time to reconnect with principle, to reconnect with the power of our choices, to to support each other as we make the pivot. And we may do it brilliantly, and we may face plant, and all of that is perfect and okay. I'm so grateful for being able to share the journey and cheer each other on and help each other stand back up when we fall down. I'm grateful for the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living that brings us together to do the work that blesses us, blesses our families, blesses everyone who crosses our path, and spreads out in ways we can't even imagine. And so with a heart full of gratitude and strength to make the pivot, I trust the universe that all is in divine right order. So I take this huge prayer, everything that was spoken and even things that were unspoken that just lay in the recesses of our hearts. I know the divine knows. So I let it go and I let it be, knowing that God is on the job. And go ahead and say with me, and so it is. Thank you, practitioners. Thank you, beautiful people, for being in that prayer with me. And now it is time for us to share our abundance, as if we haven't been sharing enough already. But wait, there's more. So it is our time to share, obviously it's super helpful when you share not only your time and your talents, but it's also super helpful to share your treasure as we look at, balancing the budget and paying ministers and the bookstore and all the beautiful things that you know and love, and offering classes and being, our ministry out in the world. So absolutely anything that you are able to share is just so appreciated. And also, there's all different ways that you can give. There's the text to give number. There's the baskets up front. Some of you are on auto pay. Oh, high five. Thank you very much. So it's very helpful. So we're super blessed that y'all share. I know, I just get excited. It is so helpful. And we're so blessed to be able to share our bounty with each other. So let's take a moment to say our giving affirmation together, which is going to come up on a slide in just a moment. And actually, we probably know it by heart now. But, there it is. Oh, we're so good. All right. So let's say it together. I am abundant, and I give from my abundance. I am prosperous, and I give from my prosperity. I am blessed, and I give from my blessings. My blessings of spirit are as abundant as the stars, and so I give and receive generously, and so it is. And now it's time for some more special music.
Standing at the edge of the life I know, afraid to step forward, can't see what's below. I've come so far to the top of this hill. Don't want to go backward, I refuse to stand still. Faith is knowing I've got to keep going when life isn't flowing, and I don't know why. Want to keep growing, can't just sit here and cry. Taking the leap, I'm gonna learn how to fly. Taking the leap, I'm gonna learn how to fly. I thought life was a lesson, like being in school, where I would be safe if I played by the rules. In the blink of an eye, your whole world can change, till nothing's familiar, no sure thing remains. Faith is knowing I gotta keep going when life isn't flowing, and I don't know why. Wanna keep growing, can't just sit here and cry. Taking
much.
Woo! We are so blessed to have such good music. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, John. Thank you, Victor. Appreciating you so much. And let's take a moment to bless these gifts. Thank you, sweet Spirit, for all these gifts and these beautiful people and everything that we pull together to be able to do this work out in the world and in our own lives. I know that it's all divinely guided and blessed for the givers and the receivers, which is us also at the same time. So knowing that we are blessed 1,000-fold, I give thanks, and so it is. Awesome. All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming this morning. It's just been a joy to celebrate together. I want to remind you to take advantage of the prayers being offered by practitioners in the prayer garden. So go on over if you need a mini treatment. And also there are prayer requests you could fill out in the back of the seats, or even in the back table, there's like a treasure chest looking thing where the prayers go, or you can make a prayer request online, because we love to walk alongside you and support you in prayer. And then also please join us for food and community in the social hall, our beautiful joint time with Unity. We're so happy to be cohabitating and figuring this out. So again, I just want to thank you so much for your patience and kindness while we're all learning how this works to have roommates. It's all fabulous. So thank you for being beautiful to each other. So this morning, to close, we are going to have our closing song, and then when the closing song is done, then we're going to do our affirmation for the week, like Take and Bake Pizza is ready for you to take it and live it out in the world. Okay, so closing song, and then we're going to have our affirmation for the week. All right.
Okay, if you would all stand, and we need Yvette to the podium if she would care to join us, because this is a song she wrote.
Yay.
And I have thrown down the gauntlet, and I have asked Yvette if she could maybe come up with 2 or 3 of these closing songs, because this one is so popular. Anyway,
It was a good challenge.
It was a good challenge.
And Belinda and I sing this song all week long. I hope that hope it's a little earworm for you too.
All right.
Yes.
And if you feel comfortable, you can join hands. If you'd like a contactless experience, just hand on the heart, or just tell people, no, I don't want to do that.
Wherever you are, wherever you go, you're still in our hearts. You still belong here. If we don't see you, wherever you go, you're still in our hearts. You still belong here. And when you return, Hannah, when you return, we will be right here. You're still in our hearts. You still belong here. You're still in our hearts. You still belong here. We love you all. We love you, Hannah.
All right, and here's your affirmation for the week. Are you ready? Okay. I pivot calmly and confidently towards my best and highest good. I calmly and confidently pivot towards my best and highest good. Yeah, that was long. Okay, how about just I pivot. To my best and highest good.
To my best and highest good.
All right. I didn't get the edited version on there. All right. All right. We pivot. Happy pivoting, y'all. Have a great day. Yeah, that was like the not edited version. And it's interesting to be like, okay, well, there's certain things that only make sense here that don't make sense with you. So like, good stuff, and I'm so tangled here.
Need some help?
I
I
think
think it's just that last little bit.
it's like so close.
Yeah, you were.
Oh my God.
There we go. All right, my friend. I love you.
Too. And
Yeah, well, that just.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, like you just get as much as you can.
And then you let it go.
And then you let it go.
You're like, I can press.
So it gets better than it used to be. That was my yard race today. Yeah, it was delightful.